It's going.
Okay.
All right. I got the start.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Dude, I have been sick all weekend, and I just got home after driving like 4 hours. This recording has to be perfect, like no edits.
So, should we do an intro with a lot of sound effects and stuff?
Only if it's fart noises.
Do we really need sound effects?
You tell me, Jenna. I don't have a need except to do it.
You just logged into the 3-Bit Gamer Show. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
And this is Jenna.
And
boy, oh boy.
Oh boy, are all three of us really tired. So
it's been a weekend. It's been a weekend. So
we were gonna have four of us, but one of us is so tired that's how tired all of us are. We got 3 out of 4 of us here barely.
We barely made it.
Barely made it. So let's hold on. Let's see how this episode goes. I'm really excited. Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news. All right, our news this week is brought to us by Quick Cookies. Brave.
It's a hard one to time.
I'm really fucking tired, you guys. Crave Cookies is this awesome cookie shop. You want to learn more, go to cravecookies.com, where you will see the current cookies of the week. However, if you would like to open your third cookie eye and gaze into the cookie future, join us. What's coming up next week? What's coming out in the future? We got the list. We got a chocolate chip, caramel Oreo. I think that's new. And honestly, I feel like he doesn't do a lot of caramel cookies. What's up with that? He's got a lot of chocolate. He said there's like a chocolate shortage or something, but God, I could really use more caramel cookies. So caramel Oreo sounds good. The horchata churro, the cherry Danish, the peanut butter cup. Wait, there's one more. The mochaccino pie, coffee style. So anyway, that's what we got. Crave Cookies coming up this next week. So go to the cravecookies.com or go find a store near you and get your cookie on. Butt cheeks and swastikas are getting removed from a fighting game called Skullgirls, and gamers are not happy. This is an instant Blurstein nom. Love, dude. The Gamer Rage Cup runneth over this year. Honestly, in July,
dude, we're doing great.
Like 4 or 5 noms already.
Yeah,
already full. So that's pretty cool. This is a fighting game called Skullgirls. Some people might be familiar with, some people might not. Basically, they did some cleanup on a new version of this game, or was it like a remake or remaster? But
yeah, I'm not sure.
There's some side-by-side pictures, and what they've basically done is removed like an upskirt butt cheek line. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. On one of these characters, along with a number of swastikas, I guess. Didn't see those mentioned anywhere, but
there's not Nazi-like armband symbols that are in some of the character art, Nazi allusions.
You get an opportunity to kind of clean up your game. You clean up the garbage. You clean up stuff that you're like, I'm not sure if I really need that anymore. Well, the things that you thought no one would notice, apparently, the only reason people play Skullgirls is for the butt cheeks, swastikas. Honestly, the freedom of speech, I guess, is what you'd call it.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. That's what they Not to mention the developers' freedom of speech. Fuck that. The developers don't get any. That's the gamers' right only. They get to choose who gets the freedom of speech. So anyway, Blursty nom for fans mad at Skullgirls.
Dude, okay, so real quick, gamers have been review bombing this game. I don't know if you've seen that. So if you look at Steam, the all reviews is mostly positive. The recent reviews, mostly negative.
Dog, that goes without saying. I feel like we do a Blursty nom for Gamer Rage. We know they're getting review bombed.
They're just it's just some of the reviews are pretty funny on Steam, meaning funny, not like, oh man, this person's hilarious. Like funny as in, oh gosh, this person's the worst.
You think Tim Sweeney has a whiteboard in his office over at Epic Games, and he just has one checkbox that's like permanently unchecked, and he's just really looking forward to the day when he can check it off, which is a game gets review bombed on EGS.
Yeah.
And he's like, we made it.
We did it. Nice work.
We made it. Yeah. I'm really stoked. So sorry, Skullgirls devs. Should have left the Nazi stuff in. Starfield and AMD have an exclusive partnership. And guess what? Gamers are mad again. Dude, here's the thing on this one. Did you understand what they were saying?
Kind of. Yeah.
So this is from a quote from Todd Howard. Quote, we have AMD engineers in our code base working with FSR2 upscaling and image processing, and it looks incredible. So that's their AMD's proprietary technology that renders games using AI, so you don't have to render every single thing every single time, every single frame individually. It just like knows where to put things, I guess. Someone way smarter than me probably understands it. But the thing that's kind of weird to me is it seems like this is not just like a Gamer Rage thing. This is like legit, people that are journalists and other people are upset about this. And I still can't bring myself to care. I can't even pretend to care.
Well, it kind of bugs me because I don't have an AMD card and I'm going to play on my computer. And so is it going to be worse, I guess? Is the performance going to be worse just because of that?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of annoying.
I guess that's the case. I wonder if it's going to be that noticeable if you're not running it at like ultra with 5 mods on at all time, like graphics mods. I don't know. So this is a quote from Tom Warren from The Verge. He tweeted, DLSS is massively superior to FSR2. DLSS is NVIDIA's version of this AI technology.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why Microsoft and Bethesda would sign a deal that would lock DLSS out of Starfield. These deals are simply anti-consumer and won't help AMD sell GPUs, build a better product instead.
I guess my biggest complaint is like this just seems like a silly partnership. Why would a game partner with a drive maker, something like this, or with the I don't know. It just seems like a money grab. They're trying to make money on the game before they start, and I think the game will be successful either way. Just don't mess with it.
Well, here's an interesting. Well, yeah. So anyway, that is what we're looking up for Starfield. If you're playing it on PC like I am, maybe it's going to be a terrible experience. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's right.
A bunch of crazy news is coming out about Microsoft in the Activision acquisition trial. This is super funny. Just the guts are open. And we've already seen some funny news, but this stuff is kind of great. I'll just kind of buzz through these one by one. The first one, Microsoft bought ZeniMax, that is Bethesda and all those other game studios under ZeniMax. Microsoft bought ZeniMax to keep Starfield from going PlayStation exclusive. That's why they bought the whole fucking studio, because they didn't want Starfield to be on PlayStation only.
They knew.
Was that a thing? Has Bethesda ever had a PlayStation exclusive?
That seems unlikely, to be honest.
It's like a multi-million-dollar, just a crazy overreaction to a potential thing that might happen.
Like, well, here's the thing: if Bethesda would have made this a PlayStation exclusive, like that would be terrible for them as a company, because everyone wants to play the next Bethesda game on everything.
Dude, I'm sorry, I misrepresented this. That was not a couple multi-million-dollar acquisition. This was a $7.5 billion acquisition. Imagine dropping $7.5 billion just to prevent one game from being PlayStation exclusive. Wild. Also, Microsoft apparently tried to buy Zynga as it began targeting mobile game companies for acquisition, but Zynga wasn't big enough. What the fuck is Microsoft? What is that? That's not a company anymore. It's not a corporation, certainly not. Megacorp doesn't seem to cover it.
It's a person, actually, John.
Yeah, an individual.
Ultra Corp, Gigacorp, All Corp. I don't know.
You ever play that game where you start off as the little hole that just moves around and sucks things into it until it gets bigger and bigger, and you start sucking
Microsoft
in buildings?
is Hole.io.
Yeah, Mike. That's what they're going for.
That tracks. Also, Indiana Jones is apparently Xbox's Spider-Man. Got to make a game first before you think that. They paid a lot of money for this license, and they're really dedicated to making Xbox exclusive Indiana Jones games. Guys, PlayStation already had their own exclusive Indiana Jones games. They were called Uncharted. There were 4 or 5 of them. They were well received and great. And no one's asking for fucking more. Who cares? Yeah. That's what you think is going to get people in. And also, Indiana Jones leaves a sour taste in people's mouth and huge fucking risk on this next one. This next one's iffy at best, that it's going to be anything but shit. So this one comes out and it's a stinker, and you have 2 stinkers in a row. That's what everyone under like 20 is going to think about Indiana Jones. And you're betting all big that this is going to be like your studio's future is this game. There's no other media. There's no fucking books. There's no nothing, dude. It's just these movies. And one of the old ones kind of sucked and super racist. So it's basically like 2 movies. 2 out of 5 is good.
Yeah,
and that's what you're going to bank your whole studio on. Your whole studio's like exclusives. Those are going to be anyway. The last one here is The Elder Scrolls 6 is a long way off, and the platforms are TBD, which in my mind translates to may or may not be on Nintendo, whatever Nintendo's doing. I'm certain it'll be on PlayStation, at least on Xbox, probably on PlayStation. But Phil Spencer estimated it'll be 5+ years. 5+ years. Dude. 5+ years? 2028? 2029? That's so crazy to think. Skyrim came out in 2012. So we're looking at like an entire a child being born when Skyrim came out and is off to fight in war before they are able to play the sequel to that game. Fuck, dude.
I just don't know what's taking. I feel like I don't understand game development. Like, what is taking?
I can't believe they teased this in like 2019. Do you remember they teased this with that little like woo? Just the logo. Just the logo.
And that even started at that point.
Did you even think about it? Did you just think of the name? You're like, oh, we'll call it 6. That's good because the last one was 5.
So we're just gonna go straight to 6, dude.
Fucking crazy.
So bizarre.
So bizarre. The Last of Us 2 and Horizon Forbidden West's budgets were accidentally revealed in a poorly redacted document.
What do you mean by poorly redacted? Is that like they crossed it out with like a pencil?
I guess they put like a black marker over, but you can't really. It doesn't completely obfuscate everything because you can like squint and kind of see it in the document they submitted.
Yeah. That's
so did they do it with? This is digital, right?
Yeah.
They didn't like have it on 100%. Like it was like 90% opacity or some shit.
That's funny.
It's fucking crazy. Anyway, long story short, Last of Us Part 2 cost $220 million to develop, and they had a peak headcount of 200 full-time employees. I want everyone to keep that in mind when we report on games like, remember Cyberpunk had like 1,200 people or some crazy number?
Yeah.
Dude, 200 people, and this game, what was that, 5 to 7 years? $220 million to develop. I can't even fathom how much Cyberpunk costs. That's so insane. Also, Horizon Forbidden West cost $212 million to develop and utilized more than 300 developers. So that's kind of interesting. AAA games, they're 9 figures, low 9 figures, because those seem like, I don't know. AAA, we should say AAA single player experiences, because who knows how much a AAA, I don't know, sports game or whatever actually costs to develop.
You guys there?
Yeah, are you?
Yeah.
BlizzCon is back now that they actually have a game. Sassy.
Yeah. BlizzCon. It's been what, 4 years? I think it said 4 years
Yeah.
since we've had a BlizzCon, and finally they have a
First time in
game
4
worth
years.
talking about.
If you guys remember, BlizzCon has done this before. Like, this is not without precedent. Like, they've gone years without a show. So it was kind of weird how many they kept doing, almost weirdly and desperately. But they did have a lot of esports going on, and then the pandemic and everything just kind of, and the fact that they had nothing to show off because they were just shitting their pants
Just
the whole
doing
time that
nothing.
they were being, I don't know. Anyway, so the live stream for BlizzCon will be free. Tickets are $300 and then go up to like $700 for like fancy ones, which, having been to BlizzCon, if you're going out there and you're doing all that shit and you're getting a hotel, dude, honestly, an extra $300-$400 for the tickets, like, that's worth it in my opinion. Like, do it upright. You guys are going. That would be my
$800.
recommendation.
$800. I don't know if I would spend 800 on it, but
I mean, if you're
it is
going
nice.
though, there's like a bunch of VIP shit. Anyway, for comparison, in 2019, the general admission price was $229, so $230, and that the fancy one I'm talking about was $550. So big increase on prices over the last 4 years, probably to pay for the hand sanitizer and masks. I don't fucking know. Trent's going, so
He's
we'll
going, so he can tell us about it.
Yeah, so we'll have Trent report back.
Because I'm not gonna go or watch the live stream.
Dude, you don't want to cover esports again?
Nope, I don't.
Okay. Oh shit! This is the best part of the podcast.
Sing it, Jenna.
No.
Sing it.
No.
Sing for me.
Sing. Riblet.
Oh, she'll sing later. Don't worry. She's got a soul.
She's tired.
Oh, I don't know.
She's sleepy.
I am
We
mad
might get
at you,
her.
Peterson.
Yeah.
She loves when you mix her songs into other songs. She loves being sampled. That's what Jenna's always telling me. Like, I hope
wish I could
Peterson
get
samples
sampled
me.
more.
Shit. So riblets are these little tiny bits of news we go through quick. The first one, Niantic is shutting down their LA studio and laying off 230 people as they move away from in-house game development. This is Niantic of Pokemon Go fame.
They were like planning on, Pokemon Go got real big. Then they were planning on
Get real.
some other games.
Get
and like, we're
real.
gonna make so many of these. And of
We're
course,
gonna make a Pokemon Go for everything. Harry Potter, NBA All World, Marvel World of Heroes.
Yeah. No, and then it turns out Pokemon Go is enough.
Pokemon Go is more than enough. No one wants anything else, and they're just gonna lay off 230 employees and just cancel all their games. Just shutter everything.
Stick with Pokemon,
which they should have done to begin with.
Should have done that. No one ever does this though. They never get successful and like, let's ride this wave. They're like, no, we gotta
from MySpace, dude. That's the only guy that did it.
That's the
Sold
one.
out, just chilled.
Yep.
Among Us has an animated series in the work at CBS Studios from the Infinity Train creator Owen Dennis. You guys are familiar with whatever that is?
Tell me this isn't going to be so stupid.
It's going to be terrible, but I think kids, the target audience, will like it.
That's exactly right. The target audience, which is going to be my kids,
Yeah,
are going to love it. I'm going to be annoyed by it all the time.
The noises are going to be terrible. Well, they'll be just like the game. All the fucking sound effects, all the whatever fucking dumb shit.
All the stupid meme stuff that has come out of it, that's going to be like 90% of the show.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really obnoxious. It's going to age really poorly because you'll be like, this doesn't even make sense now. In 10 years, it will be a nonsense.
Yeah. So that'll be, but they'd be stupid not to.
But my kids will watch it. So
exactly. They'd be dumb not to make this. Microsoft and PlayStation have resulted in schoolyard tactics in their lawsuit.
They just keep pointing at each other and saying, "Nuh-uh, you."
Yeah.
Nuh-uh, it was you.
Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella was quoted saying, "If it was up to me, I would love to get rid of the entire exclusives on consoles. But that's not for me to define, especially as a low share player in the console market." They love saying that. They love negging themselves.
Yeah,
These
they do.
Clowns. The dominant player there has defined market competition using exclusives. So that's the world we live in. I have no love for that world. So, dude, in Nadella's take, as he would have you believe it, Microsoft is this poor underdog in the console and
barely
general
scraping by
video game war. And they're not only an underdog, but a victim of the monopolistic Sony, who just dominates everything and forces their hand on all exclusives, basically forced them to spend $7.5 billion to acquire ZeniMax just so they didn't get another exclusive.
Honestly, how dare they?
They have Microsoft's arm twisted behind their back, honestly.
What else can they do?
They have to do these things.
The little guy, Microsoft, the little guy has to spend $7.5 billion.
Holy fuck. Apparently, they're also making a movie about the GameStop saga. This is called Dumb Money. It's in theaters September 22nd, so it's out in 2 months. It's so fucking crazy. Dude, listen to this crazy cast, though. Pete Davidson, Vincent D'Onofrio. How do you fucking say that? D'Onofrio. Law and Order, also the Vietnam movie, whatever the fuck. Anyway, also the Bug from Men in Black. That's the guy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's most well known as the Bug in Men in Black.
It's so tight.
Legend.
Egger.
Nick Offerman. Egger. Hey, look how he's wearing an Egger suit.
Egger suit.
Nick Offerman, Sebastian Stan, aka Winter Soldier, Seth Rogen.
What is this?
Dude, what the fuck, dude? What is this movie? I'm telling you, it's fucking crazy. So this may turn out to be like dope or whatever. It's gonna be in theaters. It's just, I think, yeah, it's just something. I don't know.
This is bizarre. But it'll make a little bit of money.
He's I think he was in, I think I only know him from, he was the Riddler.
Who?
The Riddler in Batman. So, dude, everyone, big fucking star-studded cast, crazy as hell. So that's coming out. It's going to be wild. I'm going to watch that. I'm going to see that. Facebook is rolling out a subscription service for their headsets. This is fucking awesome. These guys are crazy stupid. They will sell one of these to Mark Zuckerberg. It's called Meta Quest Plus. And for just $8 a month. $8 a month? Are you fucking crazy?
Oh, yeah.
Or $60 a year, you get 2 VR games. And get this, they build over time. So if you start right away and you just start and you get all of them, you get this huge library. But if you start late, you can't go get the other ones that
you don't go back. You don't go back.
If it wasn't Facebook, I'd be like, okay, I like this. In terms of like monetizing and like whatever microtransactions. This is okay. This is fun. Whatever. Get in early and then you get the cool stuff. But $8, 2 games, Facebook, eat my shit.
Yeah,
fuck that.
Immediately I was like, dude, okay, like the games are usually pretty expensive. And so like this might be a good deal. But I don't trust Facebook at all. It's gonna be the 2 worst games imaginable every time. And then
on this thing
before 12 months. Here's my prediction. Before 12 months, they start repeating some games.
Dude, on this press release, the first game they say is Pistol Whip. Pistol Whip is so old and is on everything. And they're like, dude, you can have Pistol Whip for $8. I'm like, bitch, I can have it $8 anywhere. It's on Steam for like $8. What the fuck? And I can own it forever. And it won't just like shut down when Mark Zuckerberg like changes his mind on the Meta Quest. Oh,
VR games are not good for this because they're really hard to produce because they're new edge technology. Like you can't just be like, yeah, they're coming out everywhere. They're not. Like they're gonna
like
pile
Peterson
up
said, they're going to
old
duplicate.
games.
And
Yeah.
they're not going to give you like the cool ones. There are good ones. You will get 0 of those. You're going to get a bunch of the like the mobile app VR games. That's what you're going to get.
It's just so crazy to me that the instant move to monetize on Meta Quest as quickly as possible. And then you look at what, for example, Epic has done with the Epic Game Store, just like, trying to get people to adopt it. And that's it. And Zuck's just like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Give me money. Give me money. Give me money. Like that's
How do we get more money?
They're never going to get a user base that makes this a sustainable product the way that they're aggressively monetizing. Diablo 4 got DDoSed for like an entire day.
Dude, this is Blizzard's kind of I think they're bringing it upon themselves now, because every time they've had a big game release, it's just guaranteed there's going to be a DDoS immediately. It's going to last a full day. It just happens. That's how it is now.
This is a single player game. They should not have they should be an option to play this offline. They should, like you said, this has been happening for decades to Blizzard. And instead of being like, we'll count, can you imagine the fucking fanfare and reception from their fans if they announced at BlizzCon, if they announced at any point, they're like, dude, you can play Diablo. We prefer you to have it online and automatically will connect if it can. But because we know we've experienced issues with connections, servers, and DDoSing. If you have the game downloaded on your machine, you will be able to play Diablo 4 at any time. People would be so fucking excited.
Happy.
People would forgive Blizzard for things that they shouldn't forgive them for. Because it would be the only positive consumer-facing thing that they had done in 10 fucking years. Honest to Christ, dude. Everything since they announced Overwatch 2, maybe before then, has been as in a constant downturn. Was Diablo mobile, whatever the fuck that was that before?
Before what?
Before they announced Overwatch 2?
Yes.
Either way, it's just been nothing but just downhill news. And this could have been a good win for them, especially because they could have predicted this. I guarantee you their security team knew this was going to happen.
Oh, they're prepped for it. It's their day off, actually.
It's fucking crazy.
It's we're getting DDoS today. Everyone go grab some lunch. We'll be back at it tomorrow.
Lunch. Kill me. The ESA's Digital E3 2021 cost over $6 million. No fucking wonder they canceled it. What a stupid event. What is just like stuffing money in a rat hole? $6 million for an online event? What are you doing?
Well, yeah,
it's a Zoom call. It should be free.
What did where did all this cost come from?
I don't know. Gotta get people paid. Gotta, bill for catering for I don't know. The ESA.
I guess we don't know how these things work, but that seems high.
$6 million does seem high. I would have guessed like 500,000 to put on just this thing where maybe I wasn't super in the know, but wasn't it just developers sending them fucking like trailers and then they just like put up a bunch of trailers and then
honestly they should have made some money on this from the developers.
Or just some ads or anything. What were they doing? Anyway, we're never going to see an E3 again, ever again.
There's no way.
Hey, kudos.
Oh, what?
I was going to say, give me 1 second.
Okay. Really?
Yo,
You all right?
can you hear that?
Yes.
That's tight. Good for me.
All right, I'm playing it.
Kudos.
Oh, now we got to wait for the whole loop.
Kudos.
Hold on, we'll start over. Here we go.
Kudos. Kudos. Kudos.
Kudos. Kudos, our positivity segment. Like to get it positive for a moment. We got 2 kudos. First kudos is a Fudos. Gotta love a Fudos.
Yeah.
Fudos goes out this week.
I feel like there's a Fudos every week. So really what we're going for.
It's almost like we're always eating food. Can't stop, won't stop.
Well,
kudos goes out to Krispy Kremes, the donut shop
donuts
that won't stop. Yeah, dude, we got an inkling to go to Krispy Kremes. Haven't been there since high school, maybe. And I was like, yeah, let's go. We looked it up. Closest one's like Sandy. Is that Sandy, Jenna? Out south. And when they first came to Utah, there was one right by Crave Cookies, where Crave Cookies is now, which is to say just down the street from me. There was a Krispy Kremes on every fucking street corner. And when they overextended and then they kind of blew up, I thought they were going to completely go out of business, honestly. I kept seeing them in like 7-Eleven. I was like, oh, this is the new business model. They'll just like deliver to local convenience stores. But they do still have stores. They still have their donuts. They still like have like the little thing where you can watch them roll out. And so we went and got like a dozen or whatever. And dude, they're still good. They're always open. They're open till like 9 p.m. So like most donut shops, especially like local good ones, they are all out of their donuts by like what, Jenna? 10? And then they're like completely out closed by noon.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I want some fucking donuts afternoon. I go to Krispy Kremes and they're like, yeah, we got all this shit. And they're still good. I mean, are they as good as local donuts? No. Not at all. But they're fucking Krispy Kremes.
Well, when I was in South Carolina, this was a debate I heard. I was there for 4 months. I probably heard this debate 10 times. What's better, Krispy Kreme or Dunkin'? It was like Krispy Kreme versus Dunkin', because we had a Donut Friday where people would bring in donuts, and it was like this big thing. You think they're going to go out of business? Well, not down south, they're not.
What's your vote,
Peterson? In the south, yeah.
I'm gonna go with Dunkin', but here's why: they're not even the same category for me. Krispy Kreme are like these, like light, fluffy sugar bombs, and that's usually not what I want when I want a donut, right? If I want a Krispy Kreme, I want a Krispy Kreme. If I want a donut, I want like an actual substantial donut usually. So they're almost like not even the same thing for me. So,
Jenna, have you had a Dunkin' Donut?
I haven't. I don't think I could answer that because I haven't had a Dunkin' Donut.
They have them here, and I think I may have like got one. I had their coffee a bunch, and I like their coffee, but I don't know if I maybe even had one. Maybe I had one that was like okay. But I do think, like Peterson said, the Krispy Kremes stand out. Although when you said sugar bomb, I had a funny experience. I've been dealing with some mental health stuff, and my weight's been down, which is part of this because I'm like, I'll just crush a bunch of fucking donuts. That'll do it. And turns out on like an empty-ish stomach, when you eat a Krispy Kreme donut, it is like that sugar bomb effect. I was like, what the fuck is going on down there? It was like, what is happening? What the fuck? It is so much sugar in just like one of the regular glazed. I just had a regular glaze in a glass of milk, and I was like, I'm like a fucking hummingbird for a second. It's like I had to go sit down.
Hummingbird and then a nap.
Yes. So Krispy Kremes, there's a couple still. They're like a more regional store now instead of a local store, so you got to drive to get them. Huge kudos goes out to DoorDash, though. If you ordered Krispy Kreme on DoorDash, they only will just like you can either get assorted or a dozen, and you cannot pick your donuts. You just get what they give you.
You get what you get,
and it's $25 a dozen to start. And that's not with fees, taxes, delivery, and tip. It's probably $40 for a dozen donuts. You're looking at like, does that come out? Three, like 25 donuts. Fucking crazy.
Doing live math is pretty fun.
Krispy Kreme's is amazing. And then the other kudos I have is for Retro Game Wolf in Lehigh.
Okay, it's a
JD
store.
drove 20 minutes somewhere. So pat myself on the back
Yeah,
for
that
that.
seems like a long drive for you.
It's basically a road trip. Got a bag of Funyuns and everything.
Typical Utah right here.
It is a real trip.
We went out to Lehigh to get my Dice of Destiny game, and the only retro game store that was open that I really wanted to go to that looked on Google Maps like what I was kind of looking for, because you know what I saw on the pictures on Google Maps that convinced me? They had VCRs.
And you're like, that's
I was
it.
like,
I know it's retro.
That's the level of retro. I'm like, I don't want to see PS3 games in your fucking retro store. Get the fuck out. That makes me feel old and called out and attacked.
That is pretty
So
funny.
I don't want to see that shit. I see VCRs. I'm like, yeah, VCRs are retro. I feel comfortable with that. I remember when those went out of style when I was like a child. So cool. We can do VCRs. That's tight. And so we drove down to Lehigh. It's in that outlets mall there by Cabela's and like Adobe or whatever. And Johnny Rockets. That's where the Johnny Rockets is, Peterson. Isn't that how you geolocate?
I don't even know what that is.
One of those 50s diners. With like
Oh,
little
yeah,
jukeboxes
like
at
the metal
table.
looking ones. Okay.
You love Elvis. Anyway, so we went to it's called Game. Wait, what is it called? Retro Game Wolf.
You know how you know
Lehigh.
this is a good retro game store?
Hmm.
Because they've got the worst website in the world.
Dude,
Honestly, their website is like a PowerPoint presentation.
their company
page,
number
and
is
it's
the
done.
guy's cell phone, and he's some British guy. And you go in there, and he didn't even say hi to us when we walked in because he was just busy fixing a VCR or some shit. Dude, tight.
That's pretty good.
It was tight. They got a pretty shitty selection, pretty tiny store. It's right at the very end. It's the worst location in the entire mall. And he's probably paying way more than he can afford, and his prices are outrageously, stupidly low. So if you guys are in the neighborhood, you guys should go out of your way, go buy something, support this dude.
This seems like a money laundering front now that you kind of bring it up.
They do have a
Maybe.
black curtain there.
Yeah, the more you talk about it, the more I'm convinced the British mafia is alive and well in Utah.
Also, because he's British, they're open on July 4th. So
Like
you could
aggressively open on July 4th.
Yeah. Open for more hours than normal.
Yeah, he's open extra long as they're having a tea party. It's a whole thing. So yeah, Retro Game Wolf in Lehigh, Utah. Check them out. Oh.
World premiere of the Jenna Sands and Peterson duet. Y'all ain't ready for this. Hitting up Steam with the demo so clean.
Steam Fest next Fest Steam.
Hitting up Steam with the demo so clean.
Steam Fest next Fest Steam.
JD and Jenna Sands playing demos on Steam.
Steam Fest next Fest Steam.
Hitting up Steam with the demo so clean.
Steam Fest next.
Oh wait,
next
hold up.
Fest
Yeah, let's
Steam.
redo this. I think it's off a little bit. We'll just start.
Steam
We're
Fest
still
next.
going. Okay, we're still going.
Next Fest for Steam.
Oof.
Demo.
Best part of my year. Best part of my year.
Honestly, Jenna is thrilled that I made that. She's super stoked about it. It was a lot of work, Jenna. I had to piece that together.
I hope it hurt your fingers making it.
It didn't. It
was
didn't
worth
matter
every
because
second.
my soul was so happy. the
Peterson,
whole
that has
time.
been playing on full blast at our house intermittently.
If
3
he just
weeks
wants me
now.
to stomp around the house in anger, that's how he gets you going.
It
Yep,
gets
if she-
stuck in my head too.
So
God.
bad. So bad.
So
I'm like,
bad.
I can't remember the lyrics. I got to pull it up and listen again so I can hum it to myself for the next 6 hours. Guys,
You
it's
killed it,
finally
Jenna.
here. Steam Fest. Steam Fest next. Next Fest for Steam. I honestly don't know what it's called anymore. I'm
Neither
fucking-
do I. You know, it's funny. I don't either. I was gonna write it down on the thing, and I was like, "What is it even called?"
Next Fest. Is it either of those? Is it neither of
It's
those?
Steam Fest. Next Fest? Nope, I don't know.
It's Next Fest for Steam. It's Steam Next Fest, so it's neither of those. Dude, the worst part is Jenna talks like this pretty regularly, and my brain automatically translates, and then I get into trouble later because people are like, "What did she just say?" I'm like, "I don't understand that."
I don't. What do you mean? What did you just say? It was very clear.
She
All the
spoke-
words were there. They were
All
just
the
in the
words are
wrong.
there. Unjumble them in your brain, you idiot. Get there. Steam Fest Next is this dope thing where they Steam does puts out 1 billion demos, and we played 1 billion demos.
Yeah,
In
we
fact,
played a
I want
bunch.
everyone to tell me how many games did you play. I've got this really cool idea. I've got a dice bag. Look how cute it is.
That is cute.
It's got a little I don't know, like a husky with
Dice
a 20-sided
wolf.
dice. Anyway, and then I've got poker chips. And how many games you got? So who wants which color? We've got red, blue, white, and green.
Blue.
Okay, Peterson gets blue. Jenna,
Green.
and I will take red. Okay, so how many games did everyone play?
I played 8.
I played 4.
JD.
Jenna, you were red, right?
Yeah. Would
No,
you rather
she
me
was-
do?
Look, Jenna was green. You were red.
Oh,
JD.
sorry. Yeah.
Jenna was green. Yeah, I got that. And then I was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I had 9.
Oh, we.
Ooh wee. Okay. So I'll mix these all up in my dice bag. And then I will draw these, and we will that's how the order of how we will talk about our games. How does that sound? I thought it'd be better than just going through because I knew we had different numbers.
Yeah,
This seemed like the most numerically fair way to do it.
let's do it.
Okay. So here we go. First up is red. Is that me?
That's
is this
you.
red?
That's red. Yep.
Dead.
Ooh, we're gonna have to check every single one. All right. First up, this was a game, Lottle Not.
I don't even
We-
know what you just said.
Here,
You're gonna have
I
to
wonder
spell
if
that
I can
for me.
share
Is it waddle or lottle?
Lottle with an L. Let me see if I can put it in this chat. Join the chat. Connect. Oh man, this is gonna
Wait,
take a
how do you
second.
spell it?
With an L, LODDLENAUT.
Okay, there we go. LODD. There we go.
There, it's in the oh shoot. There we go. Ta-da!
Lottle Knot.
Lottle Knot. Lottle
Okay.
Knot is is the first game I played. I was so excited about this. You are a little astronaut in the ocean, I guess. I don't know what you'd be
Yeah.
called.
You look like a diver, but
little
astronaut
diver. And you've got a little gun scanner thing, and you use that to clean the ocean. You clean up plants, you clean up rocks, you clean up just stuff that has gunk on it, and you feed lottles, which are little axolotls, whatever those little fish things.
Yeah.
And you feed them and kind of take care of them because and you try to clean them and stuff. It's so simple. It's so straightforward. For me, it was very addictive, super satisfying. You just kind of swim around. So you have like obviously the 3 dimensions of movement, and you make sure you have your oxygen topped off. And as you upgrade your oxygen, your O2, so you can be out longer. You upgrade your guns so you clean up faster, that type of shit, basic stuff. And that's it. And you have a big scanner that scans and tells you where the other things. And it just tells you a percentage of how clean all these different areas are. And you go to each, I assume there's only one area in the demo, but I assume you go to each area of the ocean, you clean it up, you get it all nice. You find all the axolotls and you feed them and you make them happy and they breed and you just keep things clean. And that's it. Oh,
It
For me, it
honestly,
was-
the art looks like it was made in Microsoft Paint.
so bad. Oh, there was a mode that was way funny because when I opened it, I was like, wow, this looks like it was made Microsoft Paint. It's really shitty. You go to the settings and you just turn off like pixel mode. Why? I was like, because I went to the settings on all of these just out of curiosity, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And I turned off pixel mode, and it just looks like a normal lo-fi game.
No, really?
They have a super pixelated version that you're looking at that's like way shitty and dumb looking, and then you just turn that off and it looks great. So
That's really funny.
one thing I forgot to mention, we should say if we wish listed these games or not.
Yeah.
That should be the metric. I wish listed Not. I loved it. I can't wait for it to come out.
Okay.
What color is this?
Red again.
All right.
Round
Next
2 for
steps.
JD.
Well, and this is gonna feel like deja vu. This one is Space Trash Scavenger.
Okay. Really?
He's got a theme, okay?
He
Yeah,
just
I was
wants to
cleaning up.
clean?
Yeah, I was feeling really like I don't know. I just needed to Space Trash Scavenger. Let me see if I can find it on Steam and share it in the chat. Is basically Raft. If you guys are familiar with Raft, where you just float around on a raft in the ocean and you like collect junk as you float, and then you build stuff and you build your raft. Same fucking deal. This is Raft in space. It's a free floating platform, and you can walk on all sides of it because it's in space. And you collect junk, you atomize it, and then you fabricate it into like mods and weapons and other building materials. Very intuitive. The space controls make sense. It's kind of like Outer Wilds, whatever the one is where it had like that physics, like this space physics where you use your rocket and you're just going to keep going because there's nothing to stop you in space.
Yeah.
And so it's got the same kind of deal, that type of physics. And so you have to plan, because if you don't bring enough fuel, you're just going to be floating way the fuck off. But there's also and there's enemies in the form of like squid aliens. They're like the weird monsters or whatever from the Matrix. Same deal, kind of those kind of things, like the Sentinels. And so you fight those off super low key, just kind of like the shark was low key in Raft. And you just collect space junk and build your thing. And I don't know. But I was going to get into it. And I thought, dude, I got like 9 more games to play. So I just but I wish listed it. Instant wish list for me. Space Trash Scavenger. All right. Is this another red one? I'm going to try again. I have a lot in there. Peterson, you're muted, dude.
JD put 3 red ones in there.
All right. Blue.
That's me.
All right, Peterson, you go.
Okay. I'm just rolling to see which game I'm going to talk about. So I don't have an
You're
order
adding
for
even
them.
more randomness. I like
Oh,
that.
this is a good one. Okay, so I played this game last time, and actually 2 times ago when we did this. So it's called Majin the Rat Project Stories. I don't know what that means, but so I played this game a couple times ago. I wish listed it then. It is a story-based card battler. So you're going through this world, like you're controlling your person on these 2D levels, and talking to people and completing missions. What was interesting to me, and as you go, there's a combat mechanic, and your decisions you make while you're talking will add cards to your deck, which is kind of interesting mechanic because you don't know what cards it's going to add. You just make a choice, and it's like, oh, these, because you made that choice, you're getting these 2 cards or whatever. It was what was interesting to me about this game as compared to last time, it was a completely different story. Completely different. Last time I was playing as a kid.
How long was it since you played? When did you
couple
play
years
last?
ago.
Couple years. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Last time I was playing as a kid, running through this thing, and I like go into a bar, and I had to do these fights with like animals and stuff like that. This time I was a grown man who was part of a mercenary guild, and I had been out of commission for a while, and now they're bringing me back. So it was actually really fun. Again, my biggest complaint about this demo is that there was a lot of fetch questing, which was seemed like a weird thing for a demo. Not very many combat scenarios that I did, but it was very short, really short demo. I kept it on my wish list because now that I've played it twice and it's been two completely different stories, I'm really interested to see what this actually is because it's called the Rat Project Stories. So I wonder if it's just like a bunch of different scenarios you played through.
Yeah, I
I
was
don't
going to
know.
ask if you thought that they had changed the story or they were just showing a different one. It
I
sounds like
think they were
just
showing a different one,
different one.
because at one point I walked past this bar in the game and then my character made some snide comment and I was like, wait, is that the bar from the first demo I played? Like with the
Yeah.
kid that the kid had gotten, and I think it was. So he made some like comment about it,
Oh.
like, "Oh, this looks
They're just
familiar," or
slow
something like
dripping
that.
stuff. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
So I don't know what this game is besides a story-based card battler, but it
The
was
rat.
the Magin, Magin, the
Yeah.
Rat Project
Mage and the
Stories.
Rat Project stories. Interesting.
So I'll post it in the Discord. But yeah, it honestly interesting both times. So I'm kind of into it.
Okay. This is another me and another red.
Let me see. Yep.
All right. This next one is courtesy of Peterson. This is the one Peterson made me play. Called Lies of P. The P is short for Pinocchio. It's a Pinocchio game. It is
Kinda.
not the Pinocchio game you think it is. What is Pinocchio? Is that like a grim fairy tale? Where'd that fucking come from? Obviously, it's not a Disney thing.
I don't know. Where did Pinocchio
Well,
come from?
Lies of P is kind of like a Dark Souls kind of feeling game. You're running around. You start it by choosing which Pinocchio you want, either like a Pinocchio with a little rapier and he's like a fast Pinocchio. I went with the Pinocchio with a giant sword because I thought, what the fuck? Let's just go for it. But you have 3 different types of Pinocchios you can pick, which is like the 3 different styles, fighting styles. It's like fast, balanced, or like heavy. And I went heavy. Looks great. Looks really good. Graphics are amazing. Almost melted my fucking computer. Like half of these demos, by the way, were just terribly optimized. My computer was like 90 degrees centigrade with the case open. I was like, what is happening? Probably
Oh
need
my
new thermal
gosh.
paste. That's on me. Anyway, you get an armathy. You have like a cursed arm or like a fat arm, or that's like the theme in games. This like
Even
arms.
arm. Yeah.
Get a cool arm. So that's Zelda. That's this.
It's like robot Pinocchio though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he's a fucking puppet. These are like fighting you're like fighting robot puppet type of things. I guess the idea is that Geppetto in this world invented basically like steampunk robot technology.
Okay.
And then they kind of went evil or some shit, and Pinocchio's like out to kill them all or something. Why'd you make me play this? What's wrong with you? Why didn't you play this?
I did not want to play it, but I wanted someone to play
Fuck
it.
you. This is good. It was good as a game. The gameplay is tight and rewarding if you're into that. Even like the puppety movements of the enemies is really awesome. It's well done. They feel like you're fighting puppets, like animated living puppets. Like they get that janky kind of shit to them. It's cool. And it kind of helps make sense. Like, you know, in Dark Souls, when you're fighting skeletons and they're like stupid and shitty and like doofy kind of. Well, that makes sense because they're skeletons and they don't have any tendons holding their shit together. And that's kind of the same idea with this. So when they like miss you or they come limbering up like all slow and you're like, oh, that kind of takes me out of the immersion if they were like an actual bad guy. But you're like, oh, they're like a dumb puppet robot. Like that kind of tracks. So it was good. I mean, this game was good. It's just not my style. This is so not my style of game. I think people are going to love this. I think it's going to be very well received, especially in like the Souls community. I don't know if it has the same level of difficulty or punishment. I died a couple times because I was messing around. But I don't know. It's kind of cool to see a Pinocchio soaked in blood. I'm like, this is 2023.
That's all I've ever wanted.
I didn't know, but I wanted that. So I did not wish list Lies of P, but if you like those games, you should check it out. Next up, we got a blue.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we'll get you, Jenna. Don't worry. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is the one I did not wish list. We're going to talk about. Okay, Rungor.
Rungor?
one too.
Oh,
Oh,
good. We can both
shit!
talk about this one. This was made by two guys. One guy's name is Your Mom's HP, and the other one's name is Raven JM. This was a card battler, auto battler, and the run aspect of it is legit. So you just get in, and your guy is just running, and you run into a fight. Now it does. I will say one thing that it did pretty well is they would give you like once you're about to go in a fight, they would give you the breakdown of what the enemy was. But you'd go in there, and once you're in the fight, it's an auto battler. It just will go. They hit, you hit, they hit, you hit. You've got a hand of cards though, and you can play them. And instead of doing your regular hit on your turn, which are very fast, it's like hit, 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 hit. It's like constantly. And so you just throw in a card, and there's, like poison or defense or all sorts of different cards you can put in that you would do instead a dodge. Then you would do that. It's just very, very quick. And so the biggest complaint is that overall the UI was just okay. It's not great. So it's a strategy game, but you legitimately have to pretty much just memorize all the cards and know what they are because it's so fast. You don't have time to sit there and read and be like, okay, I'm going to play this game, this card. Okay, here's what I'm going to do on my turn. I'm going to try this. You just have to like play crap, and you're just like playing cards as fast as you can.
But
The
I feel like
demo,
you get it fast enough, right? I
What's
played
that?
this. We all played this.
oh, you did too?
Yeah,
I
and
made
feel
Jonathan
like-
play it.
Yeah, I was picking up on what the cards were pretty quickly.
Yeah, I feel
So,
like an hour in this game, you get them all. Just like you don't know all the little symbols in Vampire Survivors.
Right.
But then you're like, now I know the combos. I think that's the idea on this one is you got to grind it for an hour or two, and then once you have memorized, this could be fucking fun.
But the demo itself was really short.
But yeah,
it was
super
pretty short demo. And then they kind of had like a bunch of meme talks afterwards. A little bit, like two, I don't know, 18-year-olds talking to each other is what like the end of the demo was. I want to hear what your guys' inputs on it. I did not wish list it because I like card games, but I like the strategy of my current deck. I like to be able to plan it out a little bit. I don't want a speed version of it. Was the thing I didn't like. So I want to hear you guys' input.
So what I learned was I think part of the strategy is actually not playing cards and
Yeah,
just
you got to
collecting
hold
them.
on to them.
So because like the smaller guys don't actually take that much to defeat. So I just kind of ended up holding on to all my cards until the the bomb boss.
Yeah,
And
when
that's
you have
where
to
I
like
kept
beat 'em
dying.
fast.
Yeah, I kept dying there for forever. And that's why I made Jonathan play it. Because I'm like, I bet he's just going to play this and get right past the guy. Like, no problem. And he did. It was just like a me problem. So that was fun. And something else I thought was kind of cool was like, I liked the hero swapping ability. Because sometimes I would get tired of like trying to play the knight and to switch it to the, Robin Hood character, the bow and arrow guy was
Ranger.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. So, I did not wish list it because it just didn't really stand out to me as something I really wanted to play.
Yeah, I could see the appeal, but like Jenna said, it didn't have that it factor that any of these games needed to push it over. Where you're like, oh, it's got this. It just was like, oh, it's a fast card battler. I can see you had that idea and you made it.
And honestly, they did an okay job at it.
Yeah, it
for
just
like
wasn't
it's
enough.
these two guys who haven't made a game before. But yeah, it's the same thing. It's like I wasn't like itching to play more. I finished the demo and I was like, okay, that one's done, and like I'll never play it again. That's
Jenna.
green. Jenna, you're up.
Which is good
Okay.
'cause he just stole one of yours.
That's funny. All right. So I played a game called Dawn Duality. Why they called it that, I have no idea.
I know some of the names on these, you're like, I don't get it.
I don't get it, actually. Maybe it was a name character. I don't know. I don't remember. But what drew me in was the cute pixel mobsters. You get to play in this tycoon, I don't know, kind of sim like game where you own a restaurant and you're trying to launder money.
This is
And
Dawn duality, like Dawn, like a mafia
D-O-N.
Dawn.
Yeah.
yeah,
I was looking for DAW and I was like, what the fuck? DON.
yeah,
The
like a
Dawn.
mobster.
God.
So yeah, you run a restaurant, but you're also like have your mobsters that are doing jobs for you, like stealing art and whatever, and you're trying to launder that money into your restaurant and not get caught by the cops.
Not a
So what's kind of fun is you have actually cards that pop up, and those cards are your actions and decisions that what you make. So whether you buy a restaurant table or you hire another mobster, like that's all these like those are your options. And some of the cards actually will like ding against you and stuff. So you're trying to get rid of those cards. So that part was super fun. I did so shitty at first. Like the cop was like right on my tail. Right away. I just kept like getting caught. Like, cause you only have like for the demo, like 12 days or something to do
Not a natural criminal, Jenna. No.
No. And
Don't
so
have it
what
in
I
you.
realized was there was a setting for how much money you could, or percentage of money you were laundering for that day. And I had it 100%.
To just you're laundering too hard.
I was laundering so hard and it was not working out for me.
Why
And
wouldn't you launder it? Don't you need it to be clean?
And so I was super hooked on this game initially because I was like, why the hell can't I launder money? And so I messed with that setting, and then I instantly won the game or whatever. And so I hope that they can add on to it and make it more complex, because if it's just a matter of toggling one toggle to win the game or not, that's kind of lame. But everything else about it was super cute, and like I said, I really enjoyed the card aspect of the actions.
Dawn duality. So did you wishlist it?
I need to, but I will.
Okay. So yes.
Yes.
All right. Next up. Red. I'll go fast. Next up, I had Wizard with a Gun. Anyone
I
else
played
play
this one too. Yeah.
The Wizard with a Gun was kind of a survival type of
This is Devolver Digital too.
dungeon crawler.
It has their stamp on it, right? Didn't it feel like a Devolver Digital game, especially the opening sequence with that like that song?
The art, the music, amazing. The gameplay's dope. I will say it's a little hard to aim with the controller if you're playing with the controller, which I think they encourage you to.
I played with a controller and it was
hard to aim.
The first fight I got into and I was like, oh, I don't like this.
Yeah, that was my problem. So you run around on like an isometric board. There's like they're like floating islands in the same vein as like what was the Toe Jam and Earl?
Toe Jam and
kind of
Earl.
idea.
Yeah.
You just have like a floating island, and like so if one of the floating islands is like your base, and that's where you can build crafting tables and shit, and I assume like boxes and stuff to hold your materials and all these other things. That's where you're going to build, and then you go to this portal that's on that island, and it takes you to essentially like a dungeon, which is like another floating island, and you go and shoot things and collect items and materials and bring them back to your portal and build stuff. Did I miss anything? I don't even know if I got through the tutorial. I don't know. I was not super fond of this. It was
yeah, I'm with you there. I thought I would like it more because like the crafting aspect of you going around collecting and crafting. But what I'll say is it almost felt like a chore. It'd be like, go collect all this metal and you'd have to go sit there and like punch the metal stuff to break it down, but you'd have to punch it like 40 times. And you're like, okay, it's taking way too long. And then, yes, when you got to the actual like first fight where I'm shooting guys that are shooting back.
Mm-hmm.
I hated it.
Yeah.
The fighting was not good. And maybe it gets better as you go. But as a demo, yeah, I was interested in this game, and then I did not wishlist it.
No.
Man, I
I didn't
just
like the
did
floating
not like it.
islands. That took me out in terms of like the survival building aspect. It's not
Yeah.
open world. It's like a closed world survival craft.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Not
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was out on this game too. I'm glad you were.
Okay, cool. You go, Peterson. I got a blue one.
Okay, let's see. Okay, here's another one. This will be a shorty. I played a game, Catch and Cook. This is right up my alley. This is a
Catch and
fishing
Cook.
game. It's a
Ooh.
fishing game where you go fishing and then you run a restaurant, and so you cook the stuff after. Reading the description, got a lot of Dave the Diver vibes. I was like, yeah, you go fish and then you run the restaurant after. That's exactly what Dave the Diver is. So I get into it. It puts you right in, and you're in a boat and you're controlling a boat and you go to the fishing location and you catch fish, and immediately puts you right into what is the least fun version of a fishing game I've ever played in my life.
Oh,
like cool. I played a different game that I'll talk about in a little bit that had just like a mini fishing mechanic. And this was just a little part of the game. It wasn't even a fishing game. It was a JRPG.
Better than this whole game.
Infinitely better. This was, I kid you not, cast. It was
grim.
Press A to cast. Once it wiggles, press A to reel in. That's it. There was no like actual
and it's
fishing.
A fishing game.
And you just click. You just press A. There's no like anything to it. But then I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll get all the fish and then I'll go to the restaurant. No, running the restaurant is you row your boat up to this building. You go in it and a menu pops up. It's like, which dishes do you want to cook tonight based on what you have? And you just click on what dishes you want. And then it's just like auto does it. You don't do anything. It was.
This is the red box version of Dave the Diver then.
Yes.
We have Dave the Diver at home and it's this game.
So yeah, my recommendation was I played this and I was like, this is a joke. Honestly, I don't recommend this game. If you should just play Dave the Diver instead, which is a phenomenal game, just released in version 1.0. Apparently has a bunch of new stuff in it.
Tons of promotion on Steam. Oh my God.
It's crazy. Dave the Diver's a great game. I don't even bother with Catch and Cook. Honestly, just play Dave the Diver instead.
Fuck off. Okay, not wish listed. All right. You go again, Peterson, another blue.
Okay. Sea of Stars. I'll just go into the other one where I did fishing. Sea of Stars. This was by Sabotage Studio. Their other game is The Messenger, which I have played for a Dice of Destiny game.
Yeah.
Great game, by the way.
Oh, you love that.
Yeah, it was the one where it starts off as an 8-bit game, and then you can travel in time. And then when you move forward in time, it's a 16-bit game with 16-bit music and graphics. Kind of crazy. Sea of Stars has what I would call like new pixel graphics. So it's pixelated, but it's like really good looking. So this is a JRPG in every aspect of
it
the
looks
word.
Like so JRPG-y.
Everything
Trent
about it is
freak about this
JRPG. What made it a little bit different is that there were all of the JRPGs I've played have like these extra little combat things. So this one, when you hit a guy, they drop some materials where you can collect those mid-fight to boost your skills. And if you have two guys going in a row, you can do a combo attack, which each like a combination of characters does a different combo attack. And all the attacks have great animations. Usually
I'm
in these
obsessed with how this game looks.
The animations on it are genuinely top notch. I just kept watching it being like, this looks so good. Just what they do, even in the combat, because normally it's like you go and play these and the guy jumps forward and like swing with his sword and jumps back. No, these were like legit. Like he does a fireball and you hold down the A button, and if you release it when it's at its biggest, it shoots. But it also like lights up everything else in the vicinity. So it looks very good.
The world while you're walking around, I'm watching the trailer with some of the boss fights and the animations from the bosses, and wow.
It looks great. It looks
And it
great.
plays well. You like the gameplay and stuff too?
Yeah, it played very well, and there was a lot of like puzzles in it, which are actually kind of fun to do. Let's see. Like I said, combat was more interactive. So like one of my characters had an ability where she would hit, she'd throw a little thingy that would bounce back to her, and then you could click A when it got back to you, and it would keep going. So and it would speed up. So you could theoretically use that attack to hit guys like 20, 30 times. I think the best I got was maybe like 15 because it would start to get real fast. Bing, bing, bing. But if you hit A whenever it got back to you, she'd throw it back out. So the combat was a lot more interactive instead of just clicking your thing and sitting there. The demo was very short, but I did really enjoy it. The fishing mechanic in it was A plus. It was
Oh
I've
my
never done
God.
anything like this before, but you throw out your line and it just throws, and you release it to see how like you hold down the button and then you stop, and then it will fall down into the water, and it's a proximity, so it has to fall near a fish. The fish will get it, and then there's like this section of a vertical section that will move, and you can only reel the fish in when you've got the hook in that little section, so you're like controlling left to right where it is, and then you can only reel when it's in the little vertical section, which I don't know why it was just so fun. It was easy to get, but it was like challenging enough to where I wasn't catching every fish, but I still got it. So this was definitely a wish list for me. This feels like a great Steam Deck game.
That's what I was gonna say. I want to play this on the Steam Deck so badly. It
Yep, you
looks
just
like
grab
the
it,
most
play it on the Steam
classic
Deck.
JRPG shit. Even like the menu, when you like the menu is like a little Mickey Mouse style white gloved hand that
Everything
points.
about it. Everything
Ah,
about it. Anyways, it was great. It was great.
this looks great.
I think the price will be the biggest thing for me. If it comes out and it's like $35, that's probably a little too steep for a game like this. But if it comes out and it's like $20, I'll get it. Like I'll get it and play it.
Cap. Another 3 in a row, Peterson. I'm gonna have a long run here.
Okay. Let's do Tamarack Trail.
What?
All right, Tamarack Trail. This was made by Yarrow Games. They've made a bunch of games, none of which you have ever heard of before. Like there was a whole bunch, and I was just like, I don't know any of these.
Mm-hmm.
So Tamarack Trail is a game where you are, it's a card battler. But it's with dice. So you're building a deck, but you're building a deck of dice. And you are going through these fights where you are just a classic, 2D fight type of thing. You pick a trail, just like if you would do in most of these games. Like if you think of what's that game called that I've played a million hours of?
Slay the Spire.
Slay the Spire. Yeah, you pick a lane and you just go down the lane. That's it. And you pick your lane, go down it, and then you do these battles. The UI in this game was so bad. Like, so bad. I could never figure out what anything was.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't have that thing where you could like scroll over and it would just like, there was no hover feature. You hover over it and it would pop up and explain.
Tooltips. Yeah.
Very bad UI. And then there was like a bunch of currency up at the top. And one of the events that I went to earned me a currency right out the gate. It's like you get a currency called, I wrote this down because it was such nonsense, called Garmonbosia. That's what it was called. The currency called Garmonbosia. Garmonbosia. And I was like, what is that? Nothing. You scroll mouse over it, nothing. There's no explanation for what it is. The combat, like I said, is dice based. So you've got like, you build your deck and your deck is dice. And so you'll get like a couple dice at a time. You roll it. The problem is the dice are very decorative. If you go and look at the menu, if you look at any game picture, the bottom left is the dice. They're very like, there's tons of picture on it. And none of them are descriptive. It's not like when you roll, you don't know what you rolled. You're like, I don't know what that is. And plus, it could be like a picture of a turtle or something, but the turtle would be upside down or on its side because it's a dice. And you're like, I don't know what this is. and then you can roll your dice on like individually, and so you can do that to like click it to roll it. Or, and I don't know why you would ever do that, because then I discovered there was this button you could click to just roll all your dice at once, and if they crash into each other while they're rolling, it gives you like a boost, which again just didn't make sense. And then I'd never ever once understood what would do damage and what like how damage was being done to me, and how much, like, honestly, the whole game was just so
I was gonna
poorly
say,
designed.
you hated this. Yeah, let's move on.
This was a do
You
not
hated
recommend.
this
I
one.
love dice rolling, and this game was not it.
I think this is me next, right? That's red.
Yeah.
All right. The next one I had was these Doomed Isles.
Oh.
This was kind of like a turn-based game where you draw cards with Tetris-shaped tiles on them, and these are like tiles that had like trees or extra like land spaces. And basically you just like build out new islands and collect materials. So you'd like, if you built like a forest of like, you get a forest card, and then you'd want to build your like lumberjack card nearby that, and then that would get you the materials you need to buy new cards to unlock new buildings and keep doing other materials in the same kind of like survival game loop, where you're just new mats get you new building to get you new mats to get you new buildings. It's, I don't know. It wasn't. Once I kind of like got the game loop, I was like, oh, like that's it. It just like,
Oh.
yeah, it just was kind of like, you know, with Carcassonne, when you start playing, you're like, oh yeah, I can start building this. I'll start building that. Like, I'm like really looking forward to how I'm gonna end up playing it. With this game, and like you kind of get invaded, and then so you want to build defenses and stuff and your settlement, and like build land around it and get cards. And even watching the gameplay, watching the trailer, it looks fun, and I was into it. It looked fun, but I think maybe it was a combination of the speed and the scope of it, and the fact that like you can't rotate buildings and you can't rotate certain cards, and so it ends up being just like you can't just build things the way you want. You basically just throw stuff down.
It's a big old mess.
It's a big old mess. Exactly.
Mhm.
That does not suit me. I want to build something at least kind of nice. I kind of want to, with like Frostpunk, for example, the way you lay down every single building, if you plan it right and lay them down just right early on in the game, there's huge dividends.
Yeah.
Because the way you've optimized your buildings and your heating and all that pays off. There's a lot of these games. The same with Beavertown. What did you play, Jenna? What was it called? Timberborn? Like how you laid out the city mattered, right? Like where you put certain buildings and stuff. You're muted. So that was what I would like to see out of this game. That's what I was hoping to see. And like you said, it's just a big old mess. Just throw everything down. And then there's going to be guys coming, and like you could build like a tower there, but it didn't really matter. Like there was like a range on the tower. So if I could optimize the buildings and move them and stuff, I would have enjoyed the game more. But like you said, just big mess. Didn't like it. These Doomed Isles was not a wish list for me. It was not my favorite. Is this another red? I told you I'm gonna go a bunch in a row. Next up, I played Alien Hominid Adventure. I guess no, Alien Hominid Invasion. Where I got adventure, I don't know. Alien Hominid
Adventure.
Invasion.
We played this together, right?
Yeah, Jen and I played this together. This was yours,
is by
right, Jenna?
Behemoth. This is the Behemoth.
Yes, Behemoth. Yeah. And so like it looks like their games. I think they're the ones that did Castle Crashers, if I'm not mistaken.
Castle Crashers. Yep.
So they have a good pedigree in 2D co-op games. This is a 2D co-op bullet hells. And it wants you to use controllers. That's what it recommends. And it's not a twin stick. So move and aim are the same stick. So it's not a run and gun. It's a run or gun. Can you imagine if you're trying to shoot something like slightly off to the right, your guy's going to walk that way. And so his aim is going to constantly be fucking changing where the bad guy is because you're moving the same direction you're aiming.
Yeah. And
From
it didn't
the jump,
work.
this was unplayable. Jenna and I wanted to like this game. It looked fun. It played well beyond the shooting and stuff, like running and jumping around and fighting the guys and stuff. It was fun, right?
Yeah, and the characters are cute. The art was great.
Yep, this is a behemoth, so it's going to be adorable. But I was like beyond myself that it'd be harder to program twin stick, but it's literally the only way for this game to be playable. It is unplayable in this state. This game is straight unplayable. Alien Invasion, Alien Hominid, whatever. This is like a series. It's been out for like 10 years or something. I think this is the original game that the behemoth made. And if this is, maybe I'm an idiot and everyone loves this. Maybe this is how people like to play it. And they're like, oh, you're just not playing it right, or I'm doing something wrong. But for me, if this had been a twin stick and I could have run and like aimed, it was unplayable. I just didn't. I just couldn't. Alien Hominid Invasion, I was just out on, just so hard.
Jenna, did you feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't notice it because I just don't have that sense of gamer sense, I guess. So, but yeah, it wasn't.
It was just hard because of that, right?
Yeah.
You're up next, Jenna.
Oh,
Is that
okay.
green? Yeah.
Yeah. So the next game I have for you is Goobies.
Goobies?
How do you spell this?
Goooobies.
Okay,
Phonetic.
Goobies.
Like boobies, but Goobies.
I was
And
thinking like
immediately
Goonies,
seeing the
but
trailer, I'm like, this just looks like a game called Goobies. I'm just
Yeah.
watching
Yeah.
it.
they named it right.
Although I don't know how else to like describe it other than like a lot of blobs and but
Million
it's
blobs on a screen.
it's a roguelike auto shooter. It's very much like Vampire Survivors, but
Bullet
much
hell.
cuter, and the design is prettier. For some reason, Steam says that I played like 127 hours of this game, which is not true.
Jenna loved this demo.
You played more of this than I played Vampire Survivors. Way to go,
That's
dude.
no way. I
She
haven't
loves
Just
even.
the demo.
I guess there's bosses. I haven't beat a boss or anything in it. I hear the
He's
dun
terrible
dun
at
when
it.
he shows up.
That's really funny.
So, I will not be wishlisting this game just because this type of game is not my jam, but it was fun to play for a demo and just like dink around in. If it was free, I would download it and goof off with it every now and then. Not 127 hours worth, but yeah, so it was
It
cute.
does look kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Goobies. I could play it.
Yeah, I bet I could play it too.
Peterson, you up next.
Okay, Landnama. Landnama. This is made by Sonderland. This is their first game. It's just 3 friends made this game. Let me pull this up real quick. I was intrigued by this game because there's a bunch of different, it's a Viking game and there's a bunch of different clans you can choose from. And if a clan fails, they're just gone. Like in that playthrough, like they're just done. You can't be them anymore. It kind of plays like a board game because you're not micromanaging individuals. It's a city builder and it's a roguelike, but you're not managing individuals like what they're doing. You're just managing tiles. And so it felt very board gamey. It's a game where time is just constantly passing, and based on the tiles that you've uncovered and what you've built on them, like you uncover a forest, you can build a hunting station there, and you can only have like one of several types of buildings, like one hunting station, one fishing station, but you can boost those buildings. But based on those, I would say periodically through the time cycle, there's like a time bar at top and it keeps moving. There are these hearts. and that's how many hearts you get based on the buildings you have and all these things. And that's what you're managing. You're managing these hearts that your group has. And at the end of every time cycle, a big event happens where it will cost you a lot of hearts. So you have to excuse me, you have to have a bunch saved up, but you have to it costs hearts to build buildings. So you're like managing that asset the whole time, which again makes it feel very board gamey. And at the end of year event is kind of a random amount of hearts that will go, and it's like a big range. It'll be like you'll lose 12 to 24 hearts, and so you're kind of like gambling with it a little bit to see how you get there. And that was essentially the demo. It was a very simple game, just uncovering tiles, utilizing your people and your crew and your hearts to uncover tiles and build stuff, and hopefully you have enough by the end of the sequence to survive. Otherwise you lose. If you don't have enough to survive, that clan is gone. The demo was super short, like super short. I played the whole demo and it was 15 minutes. If I did wish list this game, and based on what I played, if they put this up on the store for like $10, I'd easily buy it. So I did enjoy this game, but it was very, very simple. I imagine it's gonna, when 1.0 releases or early access or whatever they do, there'll be more to it. But like I said, the demo is very simple. But I did kind of enjoy it. Like that whole 15 minutes, I was into it and like planning what I was doing. And when it was like, okay, this is the demo, thanks, I was like, aw, want to play more. And so that's why I wish listed it. So that's called Land Nama.
Land Nama. That sounds sick. I'm up next with a game called Homeseek. Homeseek, terribly named game. Just very disappointing. Easily forgettable name. Which is too bad because this was up there with one of my favorite I played. This was the one along with that space game, Space Trash Scavenger, where I actually had to like turn myself like you have to stop playing. Like you have to put it down. Have to put it down because I could see and feel myself getting carried away. And I was like, you're not going to play any other demos. You're just going to get stuck on Homeseek. Homeseek is Mad Max Frostpunk. So you got the same exact setup as Frostpunk. Not the same exact. I'm so sorry. It's not like the same physical, like circular, thing, but the same idea. It's a survival game. You have survivors. You're in a kind of a deserty, dried up hellscape type of deal. You are bunker kids. You're like the kids in a bunker, and you're going out to rebuild civilization. Because civilization's been in the bunkers for 100 years, and the opening cinematic with like an old guy that's the only guy that in the bunker who remembers skiing a sky. Such a trip. It was good. And he's like, have fun out there. It's like not the same. And it's like Fallout Frostpunk with water instead of coal. So water is your big thing instead of coal, which was the big thing in Frostpunk. This was the number one GPU melter. This destroyed my machine because like Frostpunk, each individual person is like being rendered and moving. There's and stuff doing going things. On. And so same setup with Frostpunk. You send out expeditions into the wastes and they collect stuff, and that's where the story happens. The tabletop style random events are happening, and except for this is a lot more dynamic because you can send out your expeditions with supplies, and then the interactions you get depend on how many supplies, how much of the supplies they're carrying. So when I sent my guys out, I didn't realize I was sending them out with supplies. I thought I was sending them out to get supplies, and so I put the number up as high as I could on all of the meters, and then up there I was out of all my shit because I gave it all to my fucking expedition. But it was so cool because I got to see all the different options and things my colony struggled like crazy because I gave literally all of my supplies to the expedition. But it was really cool. And that's the expedition part. You're building water purifiers, you're building pumps and wells and all that shit. and you're building greenhouses, or you're picking berries, and I assume you're building greenhouses later and stuff like that. Ultimately, I loved this game so much. I like Frostpunk. It's got a day cycle. It's constantly going unless you pause and then do a bunch of options. Like Frostpunk, it has the advantage, which was missing from These Doomed Isles, where if you put things and you place things properly, you can you can build them and they can cover multiple resources. But I built them wrong initially, and it kind of fucked me up because then I had to spend extra resources to move the building.
Mm-hmm.
If you liked Frostpunk, I can guarantee you'll like Homeseek. The last Frostpunk like game I played was one that Jenna showed me called not Frostlands, Floodlands. And I liked that game too. However, it just didn't have the same oomph that Frostpunk did. This one does. And by the way, Floodlands is closed development. They're not working on that game anymore. So it's like, oh, well, I'm glad I didn't get way too into it because that would have made me sad. So yeah, they definitely wishlisted Homeseek. And next up is me again.
You have more? Yeah, you should have more.
Yeah, I've got two more.
Okay.
The Invincible.
Okay.
This is going to be the most surprising one, I think, for you guys. For you, Peterson. You saw The Invincible, right? This was the guy. This is from 11-Bit Studios, which is also the dudes who did Frostpunk and This War of Mine and some other stuff. I'm very fond of, and I saw this because they were having a sale, and I wishlisted it because it looked so incredible. It's called The Invincible, and you're like this is the one I was talking about where you just see a space helmet and like a planet, and you're like, I was like, I'm in. This is my least favorite game. This is my least favorite game by a significant margin. I fucking hated this demo. Okay, so the idea is, and it starts pretty interesting, is like you crash land on a planet and you're like trying to figure out, there's like a company or a mining company and like what the hell happened and something went wrong and there's, rival companies and, it's interesting enough when it starts. But the movement is so locked down. You're basically following just a set path. Like you might as well be a point and click game, when you point
like on rails.
On rails. This game is basically on rails. It's like offensively on rails. And it looks great. The story's interesting. But being on this path is so obnoxious. And despite having such a very limited lockdown game world, when I was trying to, in the demo, get into this hatch that I was 900% sure I needed to get into and go down, I spent 15 minutes trying to go down it. I think I saw the prompt to like go down. Oh no, because I did go down it accidentally once, and then I was trying to get off the ladder and I ended up going back up it. Could not get back down into that hatch for like 15 minutes. I reloaded the save twice, like way earlier point. Couldn't get into it. And after I spent more time on this demo and trying to get into this hatch than I did on some of these games entirely in the demo, I was like, nope, fuck you. Unwish listed. I had this on my wish list.
And you took it off?
I unwish listed The Invincible.
Oh my god.
So bad. Get your shit together before you put the demo on Next Fest. Because this literally cost you wish lists. I'm sure I wasn't the only one. I'm sure nobody was like playing this and like, wow, I'm interested to see where it goes. Because it was just not fun. It was broken. It's on rails. Because I'm sure they locked it down because it was so shitty. Because things like this were happening where it was broken. This was broken. They put out a broken demo.
It's better just not put out a demo at all.
Yeah, like at least with the one that Jenna and I played, Alien Hominid, like it wasn't broken. It just was not very playable. But this was bad.
Oof.
This was bad. Invincible. Peterson, how many do you got left?
Yeah, I've got one more. So this is it. And this is one I just talked about like 1 or 2 episodes ago. Steam World Build by Thunderful Development.
You played it.
Of course. I saw their demo was out and I was like, I'm going to play it. This is the Steam World intro to a city builder. Honestly, it was pretty standard. It's as far as like city builders go. You are old-timey, old west robot miners looking for space tech that is below the earth so you can get back into space.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, and like you get there and it's got the feel, right? There's an old timey guy. I got the sick. Got to get the mining town back up going so you can get in there and find the tech. It's under there, and so you're like, all right. So you just start building your city. It's next to a railroad track. Honestly, like I said, pretty standard. You build residences to get workers, then you get buildings that get you materials. You know, like getting wood, then you're getting water, and you got to keep your residents happy. And then it had a bit of that Farlanders vibe because once you get to the mine, you repair it, and then you go down and you've got a level down. And then you can
Music to
start
my
building
ears.
stuff in the mine level. So you're now in the mine level building stuff and you're building those workers. I would say overall this game was pretty good. It had for me the same downfall that Farlanders had. My biggest complaint about Farlanders is a lot of the missions were like, okay, you got to get up to like 200 population or whatever. And so you just felt like you were just trying to build like residences so fast. That's what you were just trying to get. And this had the same thing. It was like, you need 150 workers. And you're like, oh, that's so many. And so I'm just like going through. And a lot of times, I think what I realized is I like to play these games at my pace that kind of makes sense. So, okay, now it's time for me to build a new residence and work through it. But in this game and in Farlanders, it was like, no, you need to get up so many people in this village, like right away. Just start blasting as many people as you can get. And so, like, that was my biggest gripe about it. Like, I'm just trying to get to this immediate city when I'd rather go into like start as a little village and little colony and work it up. I did wish list this game because this is the type of game I like to play when I get that itch. When I get that city builder itch, this is what I want to play.
Yeah.
And so I wish listed it. Am I going to like buy it and play it immediately? No, this is the itch comes, I buy the game, play it, enjoy it. Cause again, it's pretty standard. It didn't seem like there was anything too revolutionary. However, I didn't get far into the mines before I was done with the demo. So, yeah, this is Steam World Build, pretty standard city builder.
Cool. Jenna, you don't have any more left, do you?
Yeah. I
One
do.
more.
One more.
Okay, let's hear it. You're up.
Okay, cool. So my last demo was called Norland.
Oh, I'm glad you played this.
And it's like a medieval kingdom sim where you manage a noble family. It's been compared to RimWorld. And
Ooh, Peterson's in.
It's very focused on like the relationships. Each character is an individual, so you can see their thoughts and stats. You can make them interact with each other, and their moods will influence each other. It's kind of almost like remind me of like a Cult of Lamb sim in a way, like you're meddling with
cult
things.
games.
Yeah. The problem I had with this game was that it was so buggy. So randomly the text for all aspects of the game would just disappear. And so and then it would just crash. I don't know if it was just because I was playing it on my Steam Deck or what, but it would just straight up crash. Sometimes I would have to uninstall it and replay it. And you're like, why would you do that, Jenna? Because I was enjoying the game. I uninstalled and reinstalled this game so many times just so I could play it again. It's so stupid.
This must be good.
I don't know what it says about me. I don't know. Maybe I just need to raise my gaming standards here, but I wish list this game in hopes that their optimization improves from this experience because I think it has a lot of great things going for it.
Yeah, Jen, I downloaded this one and booted it up and started playing it. And then I was like, oh, I don't feel like learning all this right now. So that's why I didn't play it. I just like didn't want to at the moment.
I played RimWorld to try to like scratch that itch because I was like, oh, if it's like RimWorld and Jonathan has RimWorld, I'll just give it a try. That tutorial left me hanging so dry. It's like, oh yeah, we've got like animals and other stuff going on. You'll figure it out. I'm like, what? Not this game.
RimWorld is a challenge.
You should.
Norland
You should
wasn't that hard.
You should play RimWorld and let me just stream it, and I'll just guide you, because once you like, oh, it all makes sense. But yes, it is like a lot when you just jump in.
So
That
I picked up Norland without any problem. I didn't have any like issues like I did with RimWorld. So
yeah.
yeah.
This is the only game of all 20 plus games we played that you suffered through. Like I had issues, I had buggy games, we had games that were not that had issues, but this one you liked it so much. You
Yeah,
had
even
to
when the text went
re-download
away,
it.
I would still play. I'm like, I'll guess their
Like, I
mood.
guess
I'll
I
guess
can
what's
just
going
manage.
Dude, I'm stoked. This one's got to be good because that's that type of hook I'm telling you about. Because that's how you know you got a good game. Hopefully they can improve the crashes.
It honestly
probably
looks like once you get later in this game too, it looks like crazy, but in a hilarious way. Like, have you seen the screenshots with like the battles where just like there are so many dead people on the ground, like a big war scene, and the game supposedly generates the story based on what's going on.
on.
So I'm very interested in this game. I wish listed this one, even though I didn't really play the demo. I just booted it up, but I wish listed it.
Hell yeah. All right, so I got the last one. I played a game called Station to Station. Station to Station is a train set simulator, basically.
Train station simulator.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got a big isometric map, kind of a big flat map, and there's like
What
there's
art
terrain
style is
differences.
this?
I don't know. What is it?
Lego?
Yeah. Toy.
I don't even know. Yeah,
Call it
toy.
toy art style. Because
What
like
in the
I said,
world?
it's like a train set simulator. Like kind of like a train set in a toy game. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
You connect these different buildings via train stations and train lines to supply certain items. So if you have a dairy and you have a cheese like building, you want to connect your cheese building to the dairy with your train. You just build a train from like one building to the next. And you connect them all and you supply them. And it's a bit of a puzzler. Each level is a map. Each map, whatever is the best, you try to figure out the best, most efficient ways to build your trains. So the first time I played it, I was building trains just all over the place. Like, I have so much money and I should just build all these trains. I
Trains
ran
on
out of
trains.
money and I couldn't connect all the things I needed to do. So I started over and played a lot more efficiently with how I built my trains. And you can get cards that are like free or like 50% off your next bridge. And you're like, oh, I was going to build a bridge. So now I can play that card. And you just sit there and like kind of have them in your hand. They're not you don't have to play them. I'm sure later on in the harder missions, you'd have to play them. But very relaxing. The music was nice. Just chill as fuck. And if it's like $5, this is a def buy for me. So I wish listed Station to Station.
This is like the best. I just want to watch this game. I already know I don't want to play it.
Yeah.
But I like can't stop staring at the videos, and like I said, the art style is just so different than anything I've seen in a game.
Yeah. Dude, it was wild. It plays, I don't know, it just feels different. It feels different. It feels like I'm playing a different game. I was in a weird place when I was wishlisting when I was downloading and picking these games. I just didn't want anything really super familiar. Like the most familiar thing was a Frostpunk clone. And I haven't found a game like Frostpunk in 4 years that I feel like did a good job. So yeah, I just feel like I was all over the board, and this one was probably the most out there one that I wish listed.
It looks
like
interesting, to be honest.
one of those where Steam's like, you don't have any games like this. Are you sure?
Yeah.
That's the type of game this was. So Station to Station was a wish list for me. And that's it. That's Next Fest Steam. Steam Fest Next. That's tight. What a good thing. If you guys played any games, you played any demos during the Steam Fest,
yeah, let us know.
Drop in and let us know. Drop some links.
There was a bunch
tell
I
us what you
downloaded
played.
that I never got to. I couldn't get them all though. Couldn't get
So
them all.
many. So many.
So,
all right, let's move on.
Dice of Destiny.
Dice of Destiny is this awesome game we play at the end of every episode we roll. There's a 6-sided dice that tells us who's going to roll the dice. There's a 20-sided dice. There's 20 different game genres assigned to it. And then there's a 6-sided dice that is your budget. So Trent owes us a review for his, but he's out tonight. But luckily we're doing a round. See?
Yeah, we're
That's how
doing a
we
round.
move it.
Smart.
We're doing a round. So I have my pick. Last week I rolled a retro game for $30. A $30 retro game. I had to go buy. That's why I ended up going to Retro Wolf. And this is what I got.
What'd you get?
I
Let's
got
see it.
Harry Potter on Game Boy Advance, Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And it even still has the original plastic on the outside of the box.
Wow.
And it has the box. I mean, I got a box with a game card in it.
Wow.
And it was $12. Wow. Right? I don't know.
Yeah.
$12. This guy, like you said, money laundering for sure. I felt like I stole from him. I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of this. I did play a Harry Potter game on Game Boy Color, and I don't know which one it was, and I liked it a lot. I don't know if this is the same kind of game. I don't know if it's just some dumb shit game. I think people liked it. And yeah, Phil knows me. He says, of course, I got a Harry Potter game. Here's my problem. I thought about it. I thought about buying an N64 just to have one. And I realized I want one. And I'm going to get one because I wanted one as a kid and never had it. Now I can get one. But I was like, $30 limit. Can I buy a $90 N64 and then buy like WrestleMania 2000 on it? And it'd be $100. I was like, oh.
It's
And then this one,
a little cheaty.
I'll go back and buy
later.
N64 from them. I'll go back and buy some carts. And then next time I roll this, I'll have the N64. They only have 3 Dreamcast games. Dreamcast games are rare as fuck in the retro world. Unfortunately, which is weird because you can just copy them. Literally just burn them. Just burn the CD straight up. It's so easy. So yeah, Dreamcast games were limited. PS2 games, limited. Game Boy Advance games were okay, but this was the one that I thought was the easiest one to grab. And so that's what I'll be playing. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on the Game Boy Advance.
All right.
Yeet. I'm so excited. And I'll have that review for us next week. Okay, that's it. Thanks for sticking around for us on this very long Next Festine.
Got a lot of games to talk about.
Episode, but we'll go 2.5. Can you imagine? Trent was scheduled for this episode. Trent had 5 or 6 games. This would have been 2.5 hours long if Trent
Just
showed
keep
up.
going. Yeah.
We would have been fucked. So maybe Trent will cover some of his games next week, and that'd be kind of cool. We'll just keep this rolling. But thanks for chilling out with us. And to play us out, we've got something. Peterson, did you?
Yeah. This is from
Icarus.
Kid Icarus.
Sky Palace.
The Sky Palace level.
Sick, dude. Kid Icarus. All right, dudes. I'm JD. Just leaving. I don't even know what I say anymore. Logging off?
Logging off.
Oh.
This is Peterson also just leaving.
Is this Jenna also leaving?
I'm so tired, you guys. Let's just leave.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow.